gym teacher. So he takes these 1-credit classes in all different kinds of sports, and one of them is pickleball. And it's like a team.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone's enjoying some dessert now, some coffee, and good company. It's great that everybody's here. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Scott Cole. One of my jobs is I'm a middle school teacher, but the second job is I get to come to Johnson a few times a year and work with the board to conduct Hall of Fame teams and athletes. And it is a lot of fun hanging out with the coaches and hearing the stories, and then picking the great people that we get to celebrate tonight. So it is it's really fun for me because I had a great time at Johnson, and I believe a lot of you must have as well. The book that you have at your desk there, it's our new family. So the new members that are in, it's quite an honor to be in this group. You take time to look through all the athletes over the years. It's really quite a group, and it's great. I heard you speak earlier at another event talking about you're not just an athlete, you're more than that. You have certain qualities that made you a great athlete, but you've become a great person through all your actions. But thanks again for being here and traveling far. We are honoring some amazing people tonight. It's great that the families and friends are here as well. We're extremely proud of you. Thanks to the food folks again as well for organizing it. Greg for putting together, helping get the program together, and the alumni for organizing things for us. So we're lucky to have a nice evening inside together. The new inductees are all selected on accomplishments, but also positive role modeling, on good sportsmanship, and on teamwork. All three of our inductees this year, as well as the tennis team, are people that really possess those qualities, and we're really excited to be able to honor you tonight. I'm excited to, for those of you that don't know Greg's backstory, Greg's been here with us for a long time, and our athletic department's as strong as ever. He's keeping the program going strong, and we're lucky to have him lead, so I'm excited to see what happens in the years ahead. So again, the celebration tonight is really all about you. We're super happy to get it rolling, so I'll have Greg's going to come on up and get things going. Well, one of the things I'd like to do, and I know we probably shouldn't do this with COVID, but one of the cheers that we used to do at Johnson was at a game or after a game, before a game, we do this big deep-throated hoorah. So I'm going to ask you to at least try it once. Don't breathe in the person beside you. The way it works is you do this. I'll say 1, 2, 3, and you do hoorah. So let's try it. 1, 2, 3, hoorah! That was pretty good. Now let's try it one more time. The young people can really go. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3, hoorah! Great. Thank you, Scott. And for you all who might not know Scott, Scott's the president of our Hall of Fame, Alumni Hall of Fame Board, and also a Hall of Fame member himself as well too. So when he says welcome to the family, it's a family I'm not involved in, so y'all go enjoy your day. But I can have the honor of inducting the first individual tonight into our Athletic Hall of Fame. Patrick Tully played for Johnson during the early 2000s, culminating with his graduation year in 2003. During his playing career for the Badgers men's basketball team, Patrick led by example. One of the things we'll hear about Patrick tonight is he played on a really good team with some really good players. In one particular year, the team, the scoring leader of the team, I believe it was Patrick Glover, those particular groups. Patrick Glover was out for the season. And in his absence that year, Patrick Tully stepped up and led the team in scoring. So Patrick ends up now 8th on our all-time scoring chart with a little over 1,100 points. So Patrick is a phenomenal athlete. Still is here in the state of Vermont. We unfortunately weren't able to get him up here tonight, but we did reach out to his former coach, Charlie Mason. So Charlie had a few words that we'd like to speak on Patrick's behalf. And just so everyone knows as well too, we are live streaming the event tonight.
And for anyone who hasn't got a chance to see it or to get the link out, it's on our Johnson Athletic page, and I'll share with this again, but that link will live. So you'll be able to go back and not only look at this event, but some other podcasts we've been doing, and some other, our home sporting events. So it's not one link that changes. It's on our Johnson Athletic page. So this will be housed there for a while. So just let the folks know. So for those who didn't have a chance to be with us in person, we can share this with them in a different setting at times. So from Coach Charlie Mason, Patrick Tully, 1,249 career points, ranked 7th all-time in NBU men's Johnson State basketball history. He also ranks amongst the program's all-time leaders in such categories as rebounds, steals, and field goals made. In an era before positionless basketball, Patrick was ahead of his time. The lefty was at his best, attacking the rim while also keeping defenders honest with his knockdown perimeter skills. Tully's purpose was no less impressive as a defender. Due to his ability to guard multiple positions, he was often charged with guarding the opponent's best offensive player. In addition to Patrick's responsibility on offense and defense, his strength as a rebounder was clear. Patrick Tully, unassuming nature, was as lethal as his shot fake. Patrick preferred to let his game speak for himself or for itself. He did not just pull up the stat sheet, he did what he needed to do to win. Larry Bird once said, "I've got a theory that if you give 100% all the time, somehow things will work out in the end." Patrick's competitive drive was constant to all who played and coached with him at Johnson. Tully brought it every day, and it ultimately led to him having a Hall of Fame career as a Johnson Badger. Patrick, on behalf of your former teammates, coaches, and administrators, congratulations on your entrance into the Johnson Athletic Hall of Fame. As with all of our individual inductees tonight, we'll be receiving a beautiful plaque honoring the event of the day with your name and your induction into the Hall of Fame. For the cross-country team, there is a team plaque and then individual plaques for each team member as well too, for your personal belongings and to kind of let your kids and grandkids know how good you are. So I'd like now to move us to our next inductee, Jenna Lewis-Lamica and Mike Osborne, who will be doing the induction today.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Really appreciate Greg, the entire committee putting on tonight's events. I want to congratulate Ryan, obviously Jenna, we'll talk about a bit in a minute. Coach Gabriel and his team, and of course Patrick, who was a heck of a ball player. Personally, just really thrilled to be here tonight. Just in general, I haven't been able to get back to the campus as often in the last couple of years, so come up to the hill is always the best place to be for me. But to be here on behalf of Jenna Lewis-Lamica, Jenna Lewis, but you know, Jenna arrived here at the campus at the same time I came back. I was a student here, student athlete here, came back as the men's basketball coach and assistant athletic director. Jenna came in the same year as I did. I met Jenna early that year. She was inquiring about opportunities to play basketball and is there any women playing pickup, that kind of thing. And, you know, there wasn't a lot going on for strictly women's ball at that time in terms of outside stuff this season. So I said, well, let's go in. All the guys were playing about 4 o'clock. Bring her in, introduce her to some of the guys. A couple hours later, I hear she was killing people and playing a heck of a level of ball. Interesting thing about that day is she was picked to play that day by her future husband, Chris Lamb. Chris was a point guard I inherited coming in, kind of seeing my making a little bit initially. Didn't think I had a point guard. Chris was ready to go. But Chris, you know, the look in his eye when he told me that day about how Jenna performed in the gym, you see a special spark. I'm not surprised they're married still. You know, Jenna was truly one of my favorite players I've ever watched. Men, women, college, high school. Her style of play just resonated with me. And you know, she's a charged machine. You know, focused, poised. Just couldn't rattle her for productive, skilled in a variety of ways. And again, the word tough is really the first thing that I think about when I think about Jenna. One of the first games early in her career, you know, we didn't have a ton of size, I think, in that first year necessarily with Jenna. I think she got switched down to a post player. Now, pretty close to the play, a little bit dirty play, but you know, she switched down, she's standing behind her, post player catches her in the face, square, back of her arm, right in the face. Jenna, little flinch, next time down, and won that girl on the other side. Again, without any demonstrative actions, just pushing, just tough player. You know, by the numbers, Jenna was the first team All North Atlantic Conference member in 2008, honorable mention in 2009. Was all academic team in 08 and 09. She ranks 5th in career points at Johnson with 1,232. 2nd all-time in assists with 343. 7th all-time in rebounds. 6th all-time in career threes. 5th in three-point field goal percentage. 8th in steals. In 2002, she had a single game, since 2002, she established a single game record for assists in a game with 10 twice, and also had a single game free throw game record of 16. She was ranked nationally that year as a junior for a free throw percentage in the game, going 12 for 12 in one game, and ranked 48 overall in the entire nation in steals of 3.1 per game. Really cool stat, I think, is the fact that she played in every single game of her career. Again, speaking to the toughness, the 103 consecutive games played, I believe. She also won a Division I state title in high school at Middlebury Union High School. Very involved in a kind of the base of the student athlete advisory committee at the time when she was here. Her and Chris both really kind of revived that program and took it to another level. Some interesting quotes I was able to collect from around. Again, a lot of things came from her dad, and her mom and dad were just unbelievable. The amount of time and travel they put in to see almost every single game. I think Craig said only missed one, none just missed a handful. Again, at every game, Boston, wherever we were, South, West, we were all over the place. The support she received, but kind of boiled down for me, you know, Craig, he said, she's the toughest kid I've ever known. And again, that word tough is what she's about. Some quotes from her now husband Chris, who's acting out in Los Angeles, couldn't make it out to Vermont this weekend. But Chris knows her as well as anybody, obviously, but really as a player as well. It's very important to her development as they work off the court together. Chris says she was a huge trash talker, but was crafty about it. Little known fact. She said she stood out to me most with her passion and her fearlessness, and she definitely hated losing more than she loved to win. I'll wrap it up with a quote that Keith supplied me via the late Gene Guyette, which really, I think, kind of sums up Jenna to a T. Jenna has the refinement and character of royalty, but the aggressiveness of an actual battle. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenna Lewis-Lamachin.
Not so much. So here we go. I want to thank Mike first for that really kind introduction. He's so accurate that we really did arrive here together, and I always treasure the time that we spent together, whether it was summer camps or at games, traveling out the last 8 hours. All of it is really, really important. Thank you. And also I want to thank the Athletic Hall of Fame, the board, for organizing this event. Very much appreciate it. I know it got put off last year with COVID, so thank you guys for making it happen. And also shout out to my Aussie that is showing up for me. Chris is super bummed I know that he couldn't be here, so it really means a lot to me that I have my fairchild in Atlanta grew out here representing for him. Here she had a substitute teach for me on Friday. Thanks, honey. He's watching on live. And to my mom and dad, I want to give them a huge shout out. Mike really hit it on the head with you guys definitely, having your support was huge. Let me chase my dreams. And I could always count on you guys to be the loudest in the gym.
For sure.
So John's, well, to me, this will always be JSC. Like, I know it's NBU or, whatever, but to me, it's always JSC or J-State. Always going to have that to me. It holds a huge place in my heart here. And it gave me a competitive outlet through basketball. Started my career path as a teacher, now 13 years in. And the greatest gift of all that I got from the school was finding my husband, Chris. And Mike kind of stole my thunder, but he is the one who introduced Chris and I. He was definitely the catalyst to that first day where we met on the court. And yeah, we won a whole bunch of games. And Chris asked me what I thought of his game after. And I told him that he was the most arrogant show-off I had ever seen. And the rest is history. But yeah, so now we've been married now for over 10 years now. So we did something right those first few games. But in all seriousness, Chris supported me as a partner and as a trainer. He really did help me develop as a basketball player offensively. Before I started dating him, I'd never even gone between my legs or behind the back in a game. So, I'd always done it in practice, but he gave me the confidence to be able to use those skills in the game. So I do have that to thank for him. And I was also really lucky to have amazing women surrounding me during my time at Johnson. My teammates, 4 of whom were in my wedding party, my coach, Cassie D'Amato. They're all fierce competitors and even more loving people. And each one of my teammates brought something unique to the mix and motivated me to get better and to work harder. If you're a basketball player, you know the grind of a season is real. It's, October 15th all the way through to the end of February, sometimes March. It's a long season and you spend a lot of time together. So I was really lucky to have such loyal teammates rooting me on, having my back on and off the court. And just a few highlights for me from playing. Scoring my 1,000th point and the joy that my teammates shared with me when I hit that free throw. It was fitting, it was on a foul shot. So yeah, when I hit that was one of my probably most proud memories for basketball. And then my all-time favorite play though was I hit a coast-to-coast layup with about 4 seconds to send a game into double overtime against Linden, which we did end up winning the game. So sorry, not sorry, Linden. I know we're like united now, but I'm still
Athletics is not united in one bit.
still have a little bit of those feelings towards Linden, sorry. But yeah, and then in Carter Gymnasium, so it's where Chris and I met, and then it's also where he proposed to me. So that's definitely one of my favorite memories from on the court. And then just a quick couple of shout outs before I wrap up. I have to give Greg a shout out because just like, so funny that you said this, that what Mike did for you, you definitely did for me when I finished playing. It's a weird feeling when you're an athlete and then you've been doing that your whole life and then you stop. And it's this weird thing of like, oh, it's over. Like now I have to enter the real world and you are feeling a little bit lost. So Ekman offered me that coaching position and that really helped me. It kind of grounded me and helped with the transition. So I appreciate that very much. Robert and June, who Mike mentioned, June recently passed away. And she was definitely one of our biggest supporters. She treated us like we were her grandkids. She invited us over for home-cooked meals, making it feel like a home away from home. Especially nice when we were the only ones back on campus during those winter breaks when it was just us here. And one of her favorite things that she would say, I'd ask her if she's come to the next game, and she would always say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be here. And they were. She'd bring us these brownies that it was like after a loss, you're really upset, and like eating one of those brownies just took a little bit of the sting away, having those brownies in the locker room after. So I really, her memory really stands with me, and it gives me comfort that she did make such a big impact on all of us who got to interact with her. And finally, one of my teammates, Stacy, she recently shared that she's now battling breast cancer. And she's having surgery on Monday. And one of my other teammates described described her on the court as a street cat. So I'm hoping that she brings that same fight to what she's facing now. And really, my time at Johnson, yes, basketball is a huge part, but it was really about the people that you meet here. And it's what makes this place so special to me. So I'm still proud to be a Badger, and I'm very appreciative to have this honor. So thank you.
And I have no doubt if the education profession did not take Jenna away, she'd be one day inducted as a coach. Her first year coaching with us, highlighted by many great times, but one memory I have is you speaking at a summer camp to the young ladies about who you are, how people identify you, and how proud you were to be a student athlete, and what that meant to you. And I can only imagine when your students continue to look up to you, like the way we all look up to you, as the way you continue to lead young women and young men. Our next inductee for the evening is Ryan Joy. Ryan Joy was going to be here tonight, but his young daughter was under the weather tonight. He's got about a 3-year-old, him and his wife were both Johnson alumni, and we all know his family first, and they did what they needed to do, was take care of their family. So he's with us hopefully on the live stream tonight, so hello Ryan, hopefully you're doing well, and we get a chance to honor him now here. You know, as a coach, you don't always get a chance to really learn about the other teams too much. You start hearing about them when they do well, maybe you get a chance to bid some of the games, but you get kind of really in the weeds with what you're doing. And then lo and behold, in the late 2000s, here comes Ryan Joy at the tennis court. And it was coming off of some success over the years that the men's tennis team had seen. And now we've got a young freshman that's coming together with a couple other tennis players that really start making some noise in the NAC right away. Ryan's freshman year of the NAC was the least of his honors that he won, and in that year he was an honorable mention in the singles in 2009. From that point on, Ryan really hit the gas, and he was a menace on the court that nobody really wanted to be standing across from. Whether that be in a singles match or a doubles match, most times him and his partner came out on top. During Ryan's time here, he's and he still is the men's tennis record holder for first all-time singles victories with 26, first all-time doubles victories with 25, was selected to the North Atlantic Conference East All-Tournament team. So what that means is that's the playoffs, so they'll have a semifinals and a finals, and those individuals who are the top performers in there are the all-tournament team. So this isn't against all the other teams in the conference, this is against the best of the best. Ryan rose to the top once again. And being that our team was in there shows you the caliber of other players that played through all the different flights for them as well too. In addition to that, Ryan was a North Atlantic Conference first team singles in 2010, 11, and 12. And then he highlighted his career in his graduating year of 2012 with the Senior Scholar Athlete of the Year for all of the NAC Conference, which is a combination of your academic prowess combined with your athletic prowess, and he was tops on both. So we reached out to his coach, the current tennis coach over at NBU Minden, Laura Laramie. Laura was ecstatic that she'd be able to speak on Ryan's behalf today. Obviously, as a coach, Laura was off coaching today, but just like Coach Mason, was more than happy to speak on Ryan's behalf. And here's Coach Laramie's words. Ryan was an amazing captain, leader, and loyal teammate. He was an example of every coach's wish and want for your number one to be an extension of yourself. I could count on him to guide the team to see my goals and coaching needs. He is so deserving of this honor. He is a Badger through and through and will always demonstrate what it means to be a Johnson Badger Hall of Fame inductee. Ryan, I would like to congratulate you on your amazing accomplishments. You are an incredible athlete and student. Your love for tennis still shines today. Congratulations, Coach Laura Laramie. In addition to playing tennis here, Ryan was also a member of the men's soccer team, was very active in multiple organizations on campus, and has continued to be a leader within the tennis community and in the local schools within the state of Vermont. So Ryan, welcome to the Johnson Athletic Hall of Fame. Now, we get an opportunity to introduce a group tonight. Tonight's inductee for our team introduction into the Johnson Athletic Hall of Fame is the 1999 men's tennis team. Tonight's introduction will be done by their coach, Seth Reaver. Come on up, Seth.
All right, thank you very much. First, I'd like to thank the Johnson State community for making tonight happen. Obviously, it was a challenge, but it's wonderful to have everyone here. And I would also like to congratulate Ryan, Patrick, Jenna, the entire 99 tennis team. You should really use this moment as a great sense of pride and a profound connection with the school that's going to honor you moving forward. It's pretty amazing. When I first saw the banner hanging in the shade of the 99 Mayflower Championship tennis team, I had a flood of emotions. All the great times with my team. We had some really amazing van trips through the state to all our rival campuses, Minden, Castleton, Norwich, always putting up a good fight. We always had amazing winning practices. If you played on our campus, you'll know that it's kind of a little bit of a window, so you gotta have to use the arc of the wind to really ace your game. There's also the extra effort that the team put forward. We would often go to indoor facilities, travel down to Hilton Head, South Carolina, just to do things to try to better ourselves and prepare for the upcoming season. As everyone in the room knows, championship teams don't just happen in 1 year. There needs to be a foundation built. We were lucky enough to have Herb Tilley as my tennis coach when I was a manager, really build an amazing foundation. Herb was a great tennis player, educator, and a wonderful coach. He really spurred us on to be the best we could be, gave us a lot of opportunities to really hone our skills. After I graduated, Herb gave me the opportunity to take over the position of the coach, which I'm hearing the themes here many times tonight where players are lifted up by their coaches and put in positions that really allow them to succeed. So I love that. Our story is part of that story as well. What always impresses me about college athletes, even today, is the balance that they can achieve from academics, student life, and athletics. Let's be serious, and some of us even have jobs out there as well. So the fact that we're able to do that and excel is really amazing. So what I often think about an analogy to that is that, college athletes really have to keep their eye on the ball in many different respects. So I know the program now continues. It's on a very strong foundation of Coach Whitmore. I hear great things with the team, and we're really moving in the right direction. We're here celebrating another tennis player tonight, so it's clear that the Johnson State Tennis Program, Northern Vermont State Tennis Program, University is thriving and has a strong future. So thank you very much for having us.
Scott, would you like to read, can you read off all of the team members' names?
Maybe Coach could, because the names are really hard.
Sure.
The soccer match. I was like, Jim.
So some of the players that are not here tonight are John Smezza, and then Jeffrey Simone is here. Thank you. Wonderful player.
amazed that it's been so long since we've seen some of each other. It really seems like, I'm just walking into a gym in Middlebury and Craig's popping his head down there just because he knows Johnson's in town, just to say hello and see what's going on. Jeff's daughter's been attending my basketball camp for quite a few years now. We mentioned Ryan and his wife are in the community. We see them come up from time to time. And Mike was just saying about how we ran into Patrick Tully not too long ago, or had locations on him. So one of the things that we really are trying to do, that humbly and honestly, I believe some of our athletes lost the feeling of Johnson that you guys all experienced. I believe that some of the hills and mountains that were thrown in front of them over the last few years kind of really took a gut shot on them. And like anybody, as we might have all experienced, austerity measures, cuts, transparency, we know how challenging that is for adults that have to absorb that information and still battle every day. So I know for the last 4 years, 5 years, some of our athletes have had to consistently every day hear about school closing, campus closing, about programs moving to one campus or the other. Our athletes have had a tough time the last few years, but it's because of some of the great staff we currently have, some of the staff that has recently taken new positions, and then some of the new staff we have are really working hard to make sure every one of our athletes has a connection to Johnson. Whatever name you put in front of it, behind it, I'll tell you one thing, we're Johnson badges, and that ain't ever going to change. They ain't ever going to change. So, something on an unfortunate note that one of our athletes, I heard her say when things didn't go quite well last year in the spring, this was a multi-sport athlete, of course, one of my ladies said, "Oh, that's Trish Johnson." And I said, that really affected me. That affected me because this is not just Johnson. We had to do what we needed to do to get through, and we had to be transparent about it. But our athletes didn't walk away feeling the pride that you all felt. Win or lose, you guys know what it meant to be back. And that was the greatest pride you had. And unfortunately, I felt we got away from that a little bit. And not because of administrators or athletes or coaches trying to get away from it. Life happens sometimes. So I want to let you know that it means a lot to us to have all you back here. The words that you speak tonight are directly going back to our athletes. Earlier this evening, we had an opportunity to name our new athletic weight room downstairs after Peter Albright. Coach LaFrance brought his men's soccer team and multiple of the women's soccer team members over there to hear Peter speak. We've got over 60 years of soccer alumni that were there today, communicating with each other. So now the new individuals know the history of this program. The new tennis players, I had a chance to get down the court and hit a little bit today. I realize you got to hold the racket tight, Seth.
Rip it to rip it.
Yeah, very different. Seeing alumni from the tennis program over the last 10 years back with their new athletes. And I can say I'm very excited about what this year's been bringing. This particular incoming freshman class, we've got 65 recruited student athletes. 45 of them are from out of state. I'm not referring to New York or New Hampshire or Pennsylvania. I'm referring to Washington, Oregon, California, Texas, Florida, Arizona. The second we put in front of them, this is who we have as a university, and this is an opportunity you could have come to be a student athlete, they jump at it. They understand that not everybody has this opportunity, and they understand what it means. And during move-in weekend, at the end of August, I haven't felt an energy like that in over 6 years here. I felt every student, every staff member, every faculty member that's here now wants to be here. And they're in for the long haul and the fight together. And that's a fight we're going to continue to do every day. We saw the soccer programs doing it home today, volleyball on the road. We're going to continue to do everything we can by playing our hardest, enjoying every moment that we have out there, and being very prideful to be Badgers. Thank you very much for everything you've done on and off the playing surfaces. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for celebrating these wonderful Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. It's been an honor to hear your stories. It's an honor to know you. Thank you all very much and have a great evening. Go Badgers.
Yeah. When I see him,